Go ahead. Matthew 22 and verse 23. Go ahead.
The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there was no resurrection, and asked him.
Okay, so now these Sadducees did not believe in the resurrection. So they're going to come and try to question Jesus along those lines to try to disprove the resurrection to Jesus. So they're going to ask him a question about the resurrection to kind of throw some salt on it. But go ahead.
Saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife.
Go ahead.
And raise up seed unto his brother.
Uh-huh.
Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third unto the 7th.
Okay, now, so they told Jesus that, since they didn't believe in the resurrection, look, Jesus, it was a woman who married a brother, and then according to the law, when the brother died, she married all 6 of his brothers, 7 of them all together. She married all of them. So the trick to this question is since she married all of these brothers in this lifetime, all 7 of them, whose wife is she going to be in the resurrection? See, their mind is so narrow. They want to equate something among us, flesh and blood beings, with immortal beings, spirit beings. Angels are spirit beings, brothers and sisters. God is a spirit being. And we are striving to be spirit beings in the resurrection. So you can't equate flesh and blood activities with spirit beings. That's why I know angels didn't sleep with no women. It's ludicrous. So, but they wanted to do it right here. They want to say, well, in the resurrection, if it's a resurrection, who is this woman going to be married to? What? Now, we're not going to read it all, but that's the question. Skip down to verse 29, and let's see what Jesus answered them. He going to let them know straight up. Go ahead.
Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God.
See, and that's the way it is to this day. People come up with all kind of false doctrine. This is just one little piece of false doctrine. I'm talking about false doctrine across the board. But they doing what Jesus said. See, and it's necessary to point out, because if you want to be a worshiper of God, you can't believe false doctrine, brothers. So there's no need to when you got all this Bible. So Jesus, he told them like it was. He said, you do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of God. You are limiting God's power. You thinking, since you know what flesh and blood beings do, you thinking that's all it's about. So you want to put your little narrow mind on God's broad mind. God is bigger than that. So what did he say? What's the answer to that equation? Verse 30.
For in the resurrection, they neither marry, nor are given in marriage.
Oh, in the resurrection, they don't marry, nor are given in marriage. Go ahead.
But are as the angels of God in heaven.
Wait a minute. So when we as flesh and blood beings come up in the resurrection, you ain't going to be worrying about who your husband and who your wife is. You're not going to worry about that. You're not going to partake in that. You're going to be on a higher plane, brothers and sisters. But guess what plane you're going to be on? With who? He said, they are as the angels of God in heaven. So you on the same plane as the angels of God. Now I heard some people say, well, brothers, see, that said the angels of God in heaven. It don't make no difference whether they're in heaven. We already showed that even the ones that got kicked out, they still angels. And he wouldn't have been calling them sons of God anyway if they got kicked out of heaven. But angels, period, are spirit beings. So he not excluding Satan and his angels, like Satan and his angels going to sleep with somebody. That's ludicrous. That's why the other scripture in Luke tell you point blank, angels, period. But no, you're not going to partake in that. That's why he said, you are as the angels of God in heaven. In the resurrection, that means angels don't get down like that, brother and sister. But now, since we know those sons of God in Genesis 6 couldn't have been angels, angels don't partake in this flesh and blood stuff. Who were they? Let's take a look at it and show you. Go to Romans, the 8th chapter. Romans, the 8th chapter. See, it's plain and simple, brother and sister. Even if you tried to use that, where it was talking about the angels in heaven, where he wouldn't have referred to the other angels as sons of God. So you can't win that no way, form, or shape. You can't win that. That is false doctrine. But we're going to see who really the sons of God were that slept with the daughters of men. Let's take a look at it. Romans 8 and verse 14. Go ahead.
For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God.
Oh, so you got more than just angels in the Bible that are referenced as sons of God, right? Yeah, you got the good angels. Keep in mind, just the good angels that are referenced as sons of God, never the evil angels. You got the good angels that are referenced as sons of God. Then again, you got only the good men that are referenced as sons of God, not the wicked men. They not referenced as sons of God. That's why he gave you a qualifier here, didn't he? He said, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God, right? So that's the stipulation. You got to be led by the Spirit of God. But that's among us, among men. If you're led by the Spirit, if you're following the gospel, you are a son of God. That includes women too. But we'll get to that. Go to Deuteronomy 7 now. Now that we know, because we already know men are called sons of God as well, not just angels. But now that we see that, let's see what God think about his sons marrying certain people. Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. Let's see what he think about that. Because, you know, this was dealing with Israel right here. And even Israel was called not just God's son in the Bible. He told Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let my son go from Egypt. But even they were called his firstborn son. So Israel, being that they were following the Lord according to the Spirit, they got the word, they were called sons of God. But God didn't want his sons dealing with other people who were not following him, who were not his sons and daughters.